Hello everybody, and welcome to Ellitopia Gaming. I am El Bristow, and you are watching Kerbal Space Program Live. We are back after a very successful space station launch last week, and if you have been following my YouTube channel, you will have seen the bonus video that went live in the week, which was us clearing up the old space station and launching a new geosynchronous satellite. If we jump into the tracking station now, you will see, when it loads, that we now have 3 geosynchronous satellites. We have the Trident 8, we have the Trident 8B, and we now have the Trident 9, the first in a new generation of long-range communication satellites. We will at some point be decommissioning Trident 8 and Trident 8B just as soon as we manage to replace them with Trident 9B and Trident 9C. So, we're not going to do that today unless we have a very successful launch with the mission that I have got in mind. What I have got in mind is for us to add some more to our space station that we did launch last week, the ESA 1. Well, it's actually called the ESA 1B, isn't it? I need to rename that. But we need to unlock some science, and in order to do that, we need to have some sciencey stuff up on our space station. The Ellitopia Space Administration have decided that science from this point on will go through our space station. So, I have been working this week on the ESA 1C. Excuse me while I have a sip of drink. Thank you very much. Let's get that out of the way. We don't want that. Here it is. This is the ESA 1C. This is an extremely heavy module which we are sending up to the space station. You can see in the center here we have 2 science labs. One of them is a materials lab, the advanced materials lab, and one of them is the biological research lab. Both of these are equipped with RCS tanks and RCS jets. They also have cupola modules to hold some staff. I believe we can only fit 1 crew in each of these, but they are the scenic pods. People can sit in there and look out the window. This thing is also full of docking ports because that is going to be very important for this station, and it also has an escape pod module attached to the top. Now the plan for this is going to be that we send this thing up to the space station, and these great big docking ports on the side here will dock to the existing docking ports on the space station as it is up there, which will give us much more docking space so that we can send up more modules and, importantly, escape pods, so that we can staff all of this and start actually generating some science points from our space station. Now, I did have 1 test launch of this offline, and it didn't go very well, but I did do the launch quite poorly. I did the gravity turn far too quickly, so hopefully we will be able to launch this into space on my second attempt. I have made some minor changes to it since the test launch, but hopefully this thing should get us up to the space station. This is... Oh, excuse me. This thing is extremely heavy. The core of this in the centre here, I believe, weighs, what is it, stage 6, there we go, 33, nearly 34 tons, 34,000 kilograms. I mean, the whole rocket, with all the fuel tanks on the side, weighs nearly 350 tons, which is an extremely heavy rocket, but we need that to have all of the power that and the fuel that we need to get this thing into orbit. So it has asparagus staging, so we can dump off 2 tanks at a time. But basically the idea is to get this thing up and dock it with the space station. It does have its own nuclear engine and fuel in there, which hopefully will only be necessary for the rendezvous section. We do have plenty of RCS on here too, so hopefully this thing will be alright. We have set up an abort, what do you call it, action group, which if we hit the abort button, it will fire this decoupler up here, fire this parachute, it's supposed to extend the landing legs, I don't know if that will actually work, and fire 2 separatrons that I've put on here to separate this landing capsule from the rest of this rocket. And the idea of that is that we are going to have one Kerbal go up in this lander can, which is not going to be either of these. It is going to be Bervin Kerman, new recruit. He's going up in the lander can, and if all goes wrong, he can eject and hopefully drift back down to Kerbin with the parachute that's on the top of here. That's the plan. We're going to save. We are going out to the launch pad. So, yeah, so Bervin Kerman is coming with us. He's sporting an interesting looking haircut there. I've added a mod that gives us random faces on our Kerbals. So there we go. Bervin's got a nice kind of dark bowl cut going on here. But here we are out on the launch pad with the ESA 1C, the bolt-on module to add more science labs to our space station. We are going to head out to the map and make sure that we are in the right place for a rendezvous with the station, which we are not quite at the moment. I'm going to bring that around to probably about here. There we go. It's just received communication. And then we hopefully will be ready to go. We'll get our SAS on, we'll get our throttle up. I'm not going to go to 100% throttle, I'm going to go to about there. And let's get a screenshot of this thing. I've slightly changed the layout that I do my screenshots, so I need to be a little bit careful where I get this in the screenshot. There we go. Let's try one over here. No. Over there should be okay, I think. So let's get our UI back on. And with the ESA 1C and Bervin Kerman, I believe that we are ready for launch. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff. We are up in the air. Roughly 2 Gs of acceleration. That's pretty good. We're going to be slowing ourselves down during this launch at this rate. We don't really want much more than 2 Gs of acceleration. I'm going to try starting our gravity turn once we reach roughly the cloud layer. I think the mistake I made during my test launch is that I launched below the clouds, and the aerodynamics really killed the little pod on the top. So here we go. We're going to start very, very gently. Ooh, very, very gently. Oh no, it's definitely trying to pull us over. No, engines off, engines off, engines off. Oh no, there we go. Right, so here comes that abort button. Let me click it, let me click it. No, I'm not looking at the right part of the ship. Where are we? Where's the pod? Come on, pod, where are you? Come on, pod, where are you? There you are, right. Abort, abort! Okay. Well, we did abort. We aborted successfully. The legs didn't come out, so we can sort that out. There we go. Let's get the legs down. Lovely. SAS can go off. We don't need the SAS on now. And we're going to drift, hopefully, gently. Maybe we need to put this thing inside a fairing. There we go, we're down, so we can recover this vessel. No science from this mission. Ideally we need to unlock the wider fairings. But for that we need science. And for science we need to send this thing into space. So I think perhaps we just need a little bit more control. This is going to be the 1D in this case, because that was a failed launch for sure. Bervin into the lander can. Perhaps we just need to be more careful with our launch, and we'll do the turn even later and even slower. And our SAS is on, our throttle is up. Bervin Coleman is not looking particularly happy, but he is here with us. And we are ready for a launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have liftoff. Not as fast a liftoff as last time, but certainly a liftoff. I'm going to try the earlier gravity turn approach and just do it extremely gently. When NASA do launches, their rockets tend to turn almost straight away. This is actually surprisingly difficult to control. However, we are above the cloud layer now. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let me keep control of this thing. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, no. Ah, I knew it. Knew it. Knew it. Right, no, it didn't work. So, where's the pod? There it is. Abort. Right. So we did kind of get closer that time, but back down through the clouds. Screenshot. He's out in the water this time, so we got further away from the Space Center. There we go. Let's bring him down. So yes, back to plan... what, G? Plan K for Kerbal. There we go. Ship's too heavy when you go horizontal. Well, yeah. It's not aerodynamic. Is the phrase you're looking for. So we'll go with the turn later approach. So here we are on the launch pad. We are ready for launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. Another successful liftoff. Liftoff does not mean a successful launch. I'm going to try and launch very gently so that we're not travelling too fast or using too much fuel by the time we have to turn. So we'll go up to our usual sort of 8,000, 8 to 10,000 and try our gravity turn there and see how that gets on. There's no clouds this time. So we're at 9,000. Let's try a gentle turn now. This thing really wants to go completely horizontal. And that is what's killing us. It's really pulling against me. Okay, we're doing a bit better. We're doing a bit better. Let's try coming down a bit now then. goes our first 2 fuel tanks. Speed ourselves up a little bit now. Okay, it's become a little bit more manageable now. Let's head ourselves down to the 45 degrees then. So we're already at 33,000 metres. I'm going to need to check our map to make sure we're not shooting past. No, we're not. Good. 59. Set that as our target. And we are going to be heading into orbit. Let's speed ourselves up a bit now. As we leave the atmosphere. Our space station is at, so it's at 180,000 there. 200,000 there. Oh, sorry, no, it's not. It's at 200,000 there, 200,000 there. So 200 kilometers is where we're aiming for. Currently coming in at 130. See how close our immediate rendezvous will be. Apoapsis. Oh look, we are pretty close straight away. Our apoapsis now is at 203,000 kilometers. We're just above the orbital period there, which is a bit of a shame. Just missed it. And our descending node is not until right round there, so we may have to... Well, not too sure what we're going to have to do, but whatever we do, we're going to have to circularise the orbit, so... Just out of interest, how far away are we? We are only 36 kilometres away. In theory, I could. This thing's really wobbly. Needed some more struts down the bottom of there, didn't I? In theory, I can catch up with this thing. Okay, 1.2 kilometres apart. Here we go. Let's slow ourselves right the way down. Here we go, 0.7. Oh, and we're now heading in the wrong direction. Let's fix that with RCS. There we go. About 1 million RCS thrusters on this thing. Right, so we are pretty close to the space station now, 67 metres away. travelling at a relative speed of 0.4 metres per second. Now, in order to dock, we need these docking ports, which are here, which is not where we want them, because they're behind these tanks. What I was hoping is maybe we could dock and fill those tanks up with the fuel that's in these, and then just kind of discard these, maybe take them home at some point. But I don't think we are going to be able to do that, are we? Not with the docking ports where they are. So I think we're just going to have to make sure that we are as stationary as possible. So we want to now dump these engines off, and then get ourselves close up to the station. Let's go under these tanks. Right, so we need to dock one of these docking ports. So let's open one of these. Open docking shield. Oh dear, that's a bit wobbly, isn't it? That was strange. And we'll control from there and set that docking port as our target. Whoa, okay. Let's get us in a chase cam. Right. Okay. Let's get our angles right. This this docking assistant thing is extremely handy. Whoops. Very close. Slow ourselves down a little bit for a gentle contact. Come on, yep. Are we there? Come on. Come on, we're right there. Come on, connect. Aha! There we go. We have a connection. Not quite at the angle that I was hoping, because I wanted to avoid the solar panels, but we have kind of avoided the solar panels. So there we go. We have docked this science lab with our space station. And we now have Barfel and Bervin Kerman up at our space station. We do need one more staff member for this space station to be fully operational. However, we now have lots of docking ports for them to be able to do that. In fact, there's one more here that we can open now. There we go, get the weird wobbling again like we did last time. Don't know what that was all about. But there we go, docking port ready. And we now have our materials lab, which requires 2 crew, and our biological research lab, which requires 2 crew. So if we get our 2 crew, he's right the way up there, isn't he? Of course, yep. Off you come, rockets on. And come down here to meet up with grab on. Come on, grab on. I'll tell you what we'll do while he's here. Whoops, grab on, grab on, grab on. There we go. Let's have a look in the cupola module. Was that Bervin? It was, wasn't it? Now, obviously you can only see the docking port there, but he's got a lovely view of the planet from all these windows here around the cupola. Even one down there. It's a nice little seating area, this one. A few snacks in there. There we go. But that's not why he's here, so come on, Bervin. Stop messing around and get down to the science lab. Yeah, that debris is going to be a bit of a pain, especially since it's loaded full with fuel over there. But we should be okay because the relative speeds and everything are pretty good. Hopefully we will be okay. We will see. That will certainly make for an interesting episode, won't it, if we have a debris strike. But there we go. So Bervin is in the science lab. Let's get Barfel to come and join him. Let go, Barfel. Turn your rockets on. And out you come. What's that? Oh, that's one of the resource containers. Grab. And up to the next one. Come on. Right. Board. There we go. So they're both in there now. So let's see whether we actually get any science points just from this. Examine biodata.